What's going on, good people? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I hope you all are doing well because we are. And as you see me look around, that just means I'm getting stuff going on the back end of this. So I make sure I don't miss anything. So um let me know where you're joining from, where you're watching from. I know, yes. It is January 2nd, 2026. And I was on TikTok the other day, and apparently there are multiple New Year's days that people identify with in the world, but it is a different year around the world. Wherever you are, 2026 is here, and this marks brand new territory for you. Now, I'm not a resolutions guy. Don't know if you are. Don't let me step on your toes if you're one of those people who has a resolution that you are excited about. Be excited about it. And one of the things that we love doing within Boss is making sure we turn those resolutions into reality. And so a lot of things, a lot of exciting things are happening, not only for us as a company, but all the things that I am going to find myself involved in 2026. And so today I'll toggle between all of those things and what's going on with us with client work. A lot of exciting things happening in 2026. So really quick, if again, let me know where you're joining from, listening from, all the things. Drop that in the chat so we can I can identify you, say what's up, say hello, don't be a stranger, and we'll go from there. So first things first, it is January, and in 2 weeks on January 14th marks the start of a new semester at Morehouse College. And so those of you who don't know, I teach leadership and professional development at Morehouse College for sophomores and above. And I think there's some freshmen that sneak in from time to time. But I'm going into my sixth semester or 6-year semester teaching leadership and professional development for Morehouse students and also across the AUC. I've only ever had one Spelman night in these many years, but looking for more from Clark and Spelman to join my leadership classes. Also, so traditional students start the 14th, and online students actually start that Monday. So I have a couple of online students teaching the same course. Why do I teach that? Great question. I'm so glad you asked, and I'm so glad you're curious about it because it is more of me doing the work as a practitioner in leadership professional development, never perfection in the work, but always seeking to be progressive in the work of leadership and professional development. And some things that are happening in the research of leadership, organizational development is really keying in on how to not just do behavioral mitigation, but or modification, if you will, but also what are the root causes of when we see bad behavior, when things happen, whether it's an exchange in the workplace or in the community, where is that coming from? And understanding that thanks to Dr. Kimia Saraf and the Lodestar team, understanding there may be some unresolved or vicarious trauma that someone is navigating through. And so my students get the gift of accessing all the things that I'm currently working in with clients, but also the things that I'm learning myself. And so I'm super excited to be with them again, starting mid-January. Other organizations that I'm a part of. So president, going into the second year as president of NHHR Atlanta. Super pumped about that because we have a bunch of fun new things happening with the chapter this year. The one in particular is a hybrid model. So virtual in-person meetings every other month. We have our first chapter meeting coming this Wednesday, the 14th. So a lot of things happening on January 14th. So starting back at Morehouse, but also later that evening, we are kicking off our new year. And so we have two dynamic executive directors from Atlanta Public Schools who work in HR, but they have some strategic initiatives that they have to collaborate in. And so we're going to have a really, really fun conversation with them. One, Ashley Freeman, she was a speaker for us at the ATL HR Takeover Week last year. And so excited to bring her back along with one of her peers at that executive director level. And so super pumped and excited for that. So if you don't have your ticket, go over to NHHR Atlanta, get your ticket, everything's up and running. And then we have a bunch of other exciting membership related new changes and initiatives that we're kicking off this year as well. So if you don't have your membership or you need to renew your membership, go ahead and do that now. We'll make sure you know how to get there, and make sure if you're not getting our newsletter, it's probably because you're not a member. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. So that's exciting. Other things that we're involved in, the community work. And so doing intentional community work with volunteerism, career related events, and different things like that. So talking about Boss now, it was a good year for us over on the Boss side of the house. Learned a lot. One thing in particular that we learned on the Boss side is I can at times be a single point of failure, an island of excellence. And even though, despite my best efforts, it still happened. And I'm truly grateful for Isabel D. Ross and Kaisha Byers, who are two of the closest team members to me, who not only I allow to give me feedback, even though I'm kicking and screaming about the feedback, but they give it to me nonetheless. And then we grow through it and figure out how to, through the processes and procedures that we need to lean into. What that's given us access to is now the understanding that we need to have a core team of consultants and coaches that we lean more on. And so I'm excited to have those meetings kicking off over the next several weeks, and getting them deployed in a very meaningful way. Some other big W's for us as an organization was receiving a large master service agreement on a large project. And so there'll be more on that. So if you are in the consulting space and different things like that, and you've been finding it hard, we're a real example of just keep swinging. You need the at-bats. And so if you're not giving yourself the at-bats, then you're probably not going to be seeing the wins that you think you should be seeing. Also, some amazing partnerships happened in 2025 that I did not have on the bingo card leaving 2024. And one of those I've already mentioned, Dr. Kimia Sarath with Lodestar have been able to do a lot of work, particularly in the trauma-informed professional coaching. So picked up that certification, as well as doing a lot of trauma mitigation work this past year, and just getting those reps of really truly understanding where these things come from, learning new frameworks, but actually applying the framework has been a huge part of personal development, as well as the professional development. And so been super exciting to deploy trauma-informed work, which is a whole nother bag in and of itself, in understanding how to not only hold space for another person, but make sure you as a leader aren't bleeding into anyone else's situation. So you can really hold an empathetic space has been truly exciting for us. And we're going to do more of that work in 2026. And one of the other things that I'm leaning into for the company is, and again, when you get these at-bats, you learn what are the skill sets that you need on your team. And so right now, if you have unique certifications in the leadership development space, particularly organizational leadership, change, culture, reach out to us. We would love to connect with you to see how you're deploying certain tools, because we're a huge believer in all boats rise with the tide, and there is enough. I say again, for those in the back, there is enough. There's enough for all of us in this realm of development and human capital development, because the need is only growing as it pertains to how do we become better together within the workplace, and understanding that this is a huge gap to fill. And boss, we're only a piece of this puzzle. And so we need collaborators, we need community, we need connectors, so that we can help organizations do human development in a meaningful way. And also being able to utilize some AI tools and some other things. So got some really cool speaking engagements coming that are connecting human capital development, AI, and then how those things and modalities live together. And so January packed, We got some exciting things. February, I'm having an opportunity to go speak in several different places. Shout out to ETDA. If you know, you know. If you don't, ask me about it. So in early February, but then also heading out to Springfield, Illinois to do some speaking. And then March is coming fast and furious. And one person in particular, end of March or end of April, man, I'm all the way in Q2 already. End of February, beginning of March, we're hammering out the dates now. CEO, the power of money, the power of brown money, CEO Tommy Stapleton, him and I are coordinating and we're partnering to throw a leadership and finance 1-day conference at the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. And so I'm excited about that. Tommy's excited about it. And so what we're going to be, again, for entrepreneurs or senior executives who are in support of how your organizations are fiscally responsible, but also understanding how to actually read the books, understand the books. And so this is also, again, I say for entrepreneurs, senior leaders who are now in the seat where you're having to understand how the earnings, how the profit and loss statements are impacting the business, but also how to lead through those team dynamics and team development aspects. So that's also what's coming at the end of February, beginning of March. And the other parts that we're doing that are of significance, so I don't talk too much about the business, is we're going to be super intentional about how we do huddles, leader huddles. And so that's going to be something that is a not just passion project, but something that I feel close to, because in this journey over the last 5 years of full-time entrepreneurship and business ownership, they always, that conversation, it's lonely at the top. Well, sometimes the loneliness is a choice, but then there are also those times where you don't have a community where you can actually have the conversations based on the season you find yourself in. And so understanding that there are different seasons for organizations, associations, and it's okay for you to grow out of an environment. It's just like a plant and a tree. Sometimes if you're trying to grow a lemon tree, it may start in the pot, but then eventually you need to plant it in the ground so it has room and the roots to grow. And that's how I'm feeling now in the season. And so I've actually started to become a part of certain organizations that I pay into, but also understanding we don't want to limit access to these opportunities. And so creating these communities, communities of practice, but also communities for CEOs to thrive, to connect in meaningful ways. And so going to start seeing coaching circles and peer groups and different things come out. So make sure that you are on the lookout for the webinars, for the information sessions as we talk about what does this look like? What do these accountability groups look like? And how you can get involved and become a part of these communities. And again, and one of the biggest things that we love doing is not making it only local to Atlanta, because we have a network that extends well beyond Metro Atlanta, but making it a hybrid type of situation. And from time to time, I love to see people in person. So trying to figure out whether or not we're going to do a day retreat or something like that later in the year for people to come connect in person, continue to build bonds and connect in a meaningful way. And so I want to make sure that I'm availing myself to any questions that may be out there. And so I am clicking on, and I don't see any questions right now. So we might be good. Other things that may be of interest to you: connecting in a meaningful way. So a couple ways to connect with Boss and where you can find us. So we will start posting where we're going, where we're speaking, with conferences. Shout out to IAAP. I am going to be out in LA for the International Summit in the summertime. So super pumped about that and that community of practice. So if you have an amazing executive assistant or administrative staff function for your organization, make sure you take care of them because they really do make the wheels go round. So excited to be back out with them. And then Phew, man, all the way through August, we got something going on each month. And so super excited about those opportunities that are going to get extended that have already been extended to us, but some other cool conferences that we're waiting to hear back on as well. So other ways that you can make sure you get in contact with me, because I don't want to get beat up, is I'm going to drop my admin's email in the chat. So y'all know how to contact me. The best way is through my admin, who I got to make sure everything runs through anyway. So I'm going to drop her email into the chat. So you have that. And then we'll go from there. And I'll make sure I spelled that correctly. I think I did. But yeah, that's where we're going to be. We're going to be the furthest right now, coast to coast. So going coast to coast, be in Raleigh in March, and then be in LA in March. So I'm gonna be pretty bi-coastal for the better part of this year. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, but please don't be a stranger. If you're new to me on LinkedIn, my metrics are up on LinkedIn. It says I got over 1,000 new connections in the past year. That's exciting. I probably talked to some of you more than once, but those of you who I haven't had the opportunity to connect with personally, we'll make sure that happens in the very near future. And also a couple more shout outs before I get off of here and stop wasting your time on this Friday afternoon. Shout out to Ginger Johnson, who OG, triple OG, out on the West Coast, but we were able to connect for the first time at the IAAP Summit back in Chicago. And so super excited about the folks that I've gotten to run into that I only met online, but finally got to hug their neck in person. And then lastly, but not least, one of the most important team members that has supported Boss from the beginning, but also transitioned into her own CEO seat, Japri Henderson. Anybody knows my wife, she started her own micro school here in Douglasville, Georgia. So if you have any students, K through 5, that you have homeschooled or you're thinking about homeschooling, needing support, whether full day support or tutor support, definitely check Japri out, Japri Henderson on here on LinkedIn. She has her profile and all those things set up, and she has a pretty cool TikTok and Instagram profile as well. So you may go check those out. But y'all, Happy New Year. This is going to be an amazing year. I told those in Triple HR Atlanta and some other folks, make sure you got a brand new pair of running shoes, because it's only going to get better, get faster. We're building stamina for what's ahead, and we feel some amazing things coming. So check us out. See you soon.